Elon Musk's SpaceX is working hard to eventually put people on Mars. I'm not sure this is a good idea. I just feel like it's not fair to everyone else. Why should humans get to destroy 2 planets? Tonight we have 2 well-documented alien stories. So settle down, clutch your sheets, and get ready, 'cause nothing is scarier than the truth. In September of 1952, it was reported a UFO crashed in the woods near a farm in Flatwoods, West Virginia. 3 boys were playing outside when they saw a strange object shoot across the sky and crash by a neighboring farm called Fisher Farm. The boys ran inside and told their mom, Kathleen May. Kathleen rounded up some of the men from the town, including a West Virginia guardsman by the name of Gene Lemon. Gene and his dog led the crew into the woods. His dog ran ahead of them, out of sight, and began barking. Then returned to Gene with its tail tucked between its legs. It was frightened by something. Gene and the group reached the top of the hill, where they noticed a large, pulsating ball of fire. They also detected a mist in the air. It had a pungent odor and made their eyes and noses burn. Shortly after, Gene and the group saw a strange creature underneath the oak tree. The creature was reptilian-like, had a spade-shaped head, stubby arms, and claw-like fingers. It looked to be about 10 feet tall. The creature made a shrill hissing noise and glided towards them. But abruptly changed direction and headed towards the pulsating ball of fire. Gene fell back in fear, and the group fled the area in terror. After this encounter, the police investigated the area in the forest where the creature and the ball of fire were reported to be. But they found no evidence of the encounter, and did not even smell the odor that Gene and the crew had smelled. The group seemed genuinely terrified and appeared to be telling the truth, but the police dismissed it all as hysteria. 60 years have passed since the incident, but the case of the Flatwoods Monster is still unexplained. What was the Flatwoods Monster? It was August 8th, 1993, in the town of Victoria, Australia. Kelly and her husband were driving to a friend's birthday party. They were driving down a back road when Kelly spotted a ring of orange lights in a field. She tells her husband, who dismisses it as a helicopter. Kelly puts it out of her mind, and they continue driving to the party. On the way home, she sees the same lights, but this time, her husband sees them too. The lights are in front of their car, hovering over the road. As they stare at this object, it shoots off to the left. They continue driving and are suddenly blinded by a bright light. Kelly asks her husband what he's going to do. He tells her he's going to keep driving. Sometime later, Kelly wakes up, confused, asking what happened. Her husband doesn't know, even though he was driving the entire time. The odd thing is, Kelly feels strangely calm considering that night's events. While looking out the window, she sees a tall black figure walking along the road. She dismisses it, and they drive home in silence. When they get home, they notice they lost an hour. Still in a daze, Kelly gets ready for bed and notices a triangle-shaped mark by her belly button. This confused them, but they were exhausted and went to bed without investigating the mark. Over the next few weeks, Kelly and her husband became ill. They suffered from headaches, fatigue, and stomach problems. Kelly began to remember bits of memory from that strange night she didn't have before. She remembered walking into the bright light with shadow figures moving around her. Then, one night on the way home from bingo, they passed the same spot where they saw the craft. Kelly suddenly felt a jolt of extreme fear. The next day, she remembered much more from that strange night. She remembered her and her husband saw the craft in a field. They noticed another car up on the road that also had pulled over. Kelly and her husband got out of the car and walked towards the craft. In front of it, a tall black figure appeared. Kelly described it as being blacker than black, more like a void. It was about 7 feet tall and had huge glowing red eyes. She got the feeling it didn't have a soul. Then she noticed more of them beneath the craft. They were forming small groups. One group began to float towards them, and the other group headed towards the other couple. As they approached, Kelly held her husband and screamed, "Leave us alone!" That's when Kelly remembers waking up in the car. Later on, Kelly has a memory of being on a table and one of those creatures hovering over her. Kelly's case was researched by a local paranormal group. They were even able to find the couple from the other car. The couple's stories matched Kelly's. The group claimed to be putting together a detailed report of what happened. The report was never released. Kelly wrote a book that sold out and is no longer in print. No other information has been released. Kelly and the other witnesses have not been heard from. The case remains a mystery.
Wow! What an emotional solar coaster! This week we had some amazing comments. I would pick just one to share with you, but there were so many good ones, I need to share more. These 3 KILL-dren are my top commenters of the week. Our first top comment comes from Bass the Holy Cat, with his very insightful comment. Now I know what you're all thinking. What could be better than this? How could this ever be topped? Bast outdoes himself with another comment on another video. Bast, you are definitely a holy cat. Thank you for your comments and for keeping it real on Super Horror Show. The next amazing comment is from Leroy Porkins. In a recent poll, I asked you guys to name your favorite serial killers to potentially appear in upcoming videos. Leroy Porkins answered, Shia LaBeouf! If Shia LaBeouf was scary, this probably would have been the top comment of the week. Okay, and this week's top comment award goes to Bruno Texedia. On my video, 3 Steps to See Your Future, Bruno wrote, loved the video and the vibes it gives. But by the end, when you started laughing maniacally, the light bulb in my room died. It scared me half to death. What a riot! Thank you for sharing your experience with me, Bruno. You're this week's top commenter. Lucky for Bruno, Shia LaBeouf is such a wet noodle. Otherwise, he might have... Aha! What the